It has been 7 months since I wrote my original post in that anonymous support forum. A midnight cry into the void, typed through tears and clenched fists. That post marked the unraveling of everything I had known. Now, with a quieter mind, I find myself back here, hoping that sharing where I stand might help others, and maybe help me, too. The divorce is officially underway. Negotiations have started. My wife, no, my ex, has been mostly hiding behind her lawyer and using our kids as a shield to keep the house. It's disheartening, though not surprising. I've instructed my lawyer that if she gets to keep the house, for the kids, then by the same reasoning, I should keep the apartment in my home country, a place where I can host them during school holidays. I offered a direct swap. Her lawyer didn't respond to that directly, but was vocal about her staying in the current house, for the children's stability. It all feels more like strategy than sincerity. Like chess, where the pawns are my own children, and I'm expected to lose pieces quietly. Child support became the next battlefield. She wanted a percentage of my salary. My lawyer pushed back and offered a fair, flexible system. Slightly more in January and August for school-related expenses, and a reasonable amount for the rest of the year. That proposal at least brought us into the realm of realism. Through all of this, I've learned to stay calm, strategic, and focused on the long game. I've stopped reacting emotionally. That has been a major shift, and one of my greatest victories. I'm preparing to move back to my home country. It's not an easy decision, especially with the kids involved. But staying in a space that drains me, a space that's become toxic, helps no one. I need to rebuild somewhere that fosters peace. The kids remain my top priority. I'll continue to visit them during holidays, call regularly, and show them in every way I can that they still have a loving, present father. We've had some raw, real conversations lately. I hope, they feel the love. The night I discovered the affair was deceptively quiet. Too quiet. She was late again, and my usual excuses for her, work, traffic, errands, started to ring hollow. Her phone buzzed on the counter while she showered. The message lit up the screen. Last night was everything. Miss you already. I didn't read more. I didn't have to. When she stepped out of the bathroom, I asked, simply, how long? Her eyes froze. That was answer enough. The following weeks were a haze of denial and despair. I confronted her. She deflected. I suggested therapy. She barely made it to the first session, skipped the second, and ghosted the third. I kept going, alone. I eventually whispered the word, divorce, to my reflection, and to my surprise, it didn't feel like grief. It felt like relief. When I told her, she barely reacted. Negotiations were cold, calculated. My lawyer, a no-nonsense man with tired eyes, helped me draw legal boundaries, fences on what had become a battlefield. The house became the central conflict. She wouldn't let it go, not because of need, but because it upheld the illusion that she hadn't left, that she was still the stable one. She says the children need stability, her lawyer insisted. I responded through mine. Then I'll keep the other home, where they'll visit. They'll need stability there too. Silence. Her team demanded a percentage of my income for child support. My lawyer countered with something practical and kind. Seasonal spikes for school expenses, a manageable base rate otherwise. The response was immediate resistance, but at least it was finally a negotiation, not a surrender. It became clear to me. This wasn't about fairness. It was about framing. She wanted control, not resolution. I stopped hoping for cooperation and started planning for independence. The gym became my lifeline. I started going every morning before work. Something about lifting weights grounded me. The repetition, the sweat, the silence. It became a place where I didn't feel like a failure. I felt strong. Meal prepping, journaling, cleaning my apartment. These small rituals gave me a sense of purpose. A sense of self. I stopped checking her social media. I stopped explaining myself to people who didn't ask. That, too, was progress. Losing my marriage wasn't the hardest part. Losing the daily presence of my children was. So I made the most of every moment. School holidays became sacred. We played, talked, cooked, shared silence. My daughter drew pictures for me. My son showed me his Lego masterpieces over video chat. One evening, my daughter asked, "Do you still love mommy?" "I don't love the way things happened," I said gently, "but I'll always care about the part of her that helped bring you into this world." That seemed to make sense to her. Another day, my son asked, "Why don't you live with us anymore?" "So I can be the best version of me," I said. "That way, when we're together, you get the real me." Leaving wasn't escape. It was self-rescue. Packing up my things was emotional, yes, but it wasn't painful. It was methodical. Like pruning a tree. The apartment waiting for me wasn't fancy, but it had a view of the ocean and a balcony where I could think. I promised the kids they'd visit. Promised I'd call. Promised to stay present in their lives, even from afar. Then I left. Not broken, just beginning. I started fresh. I took a cooking class. I reconnected with old friends. Some welcomed me with open arms. Others were hesitant. I didn't blame them. I had changed too. I began volunteering at a youth center. Not to play hero, but to connect. To give purpose to pain. The kids and I developed rituals. Weekly calls. Shared playlists. Journals. Letters. My daughter once asked, "Are you happy now, Daddy?" "I'm getting there," I said. And I meant it. I became a part-time parent with full-time presence. I wrote letters. Real ones. I told stories. Sent drawings. Shared jokes. They wrote back. My son sent a comic strip of us playing soccer. My daughter sent a poem called Two Homes, One Love. I wasn't there every night, but I was always there when it counted. To the man I was 7 months ago, it wasn't your fault. She made a choice. It was hers alone. Infidelity is not a reaction, it's a betrayal. You've carried more than your share of shame. Let it go. It was never yours. You will stop hoping for the version of her that no longer exists. You will stop needing apologies she'll never give. And one day, you will look in the mirror and say, "I am okay." And it won't be a lie. We built a house once. It had joy. It had noise. It had life. Then it cracked. And crumbled. We couldn't keep that house. Not because of equity or law. Because it stopped being a home. But in losing it, I found something better. A place with fewer walls and more truth. A life I don't have to fight for. A version of myself I trust. That's a kind of victory I never saw coming.